Okay, this is going to be a fairly short one. And I'm basically focusing on what's going to be happening in the next fiscal year. So that's from now until the spring of 2014. So I should start by saying our primary focus, especially for John Ward, is going to be on legislative changes. So there's going to be less emphasis on updates to existing documents and new documents than there has typically been. But that said, we will be drafting some new documents and updating some existing documents, and these are documents that are either high priority or easy to update or or are near the finish line. And if you have any comments or questions about anything I'm going to say here, you're welcome to email John Ward. And I checked with him. He said it's okay if I said that. So first I'll talk about the new documents. I'll start with Protocol 5. So the title of this one is Groundwater Remediation Requirements for Protecting Drinking, Irrigation, and Livestock Watering Uses. The purpose of it is to provide the outcome and timeline options for groundwater remediation that are acceptable for obtaining an AIP or COC where DW, IW, and LW uses apply. In terms of comments, it's going to accompany TG22, and both of those are, from our perspective, very high priority documents. And we're expecting a draft to be out in the fall of 2013, and potentially before, but likely not. So the other high priority document that's new is Tech Guidance 22. Some of you may already seen a draft. This is using monitored natural attenuation and enhanced attenuation for groundwater remediation. And the purpose of this is to guide the use of M&A and EA for remediating contaminated groundwater and essentially satisfying what's in Protocol 5 or Draft Protocol 5. So again, this is going to accompany Protocol 5 and will be out likely in the fall of 2013. And Steve Dankovy, who's spearheading this, has indicated there is a potential role for CSAP and CPPI in the further development of this or finalization of this document. So.
It's not CPPI.
Canadian Fuels Association. Okay, thanks. And then other guidance documents that are new, TG21, feasibility studies. This one is going to be delayed likely until after this fiscal year. AG13, requirements for authorizations for site remediation. This is definitely an important document and because at the land remediation section we're taking on more of a role, our staff in particular, on issuing authorizations for remediation. But because this is one that John is going to be involved in and is going to initiate the draft, and it's going to be delayed likely until after this fiscal year. And then there's an unnumbered administrative guidance document which describes or basically is a Q&A for what counts and doesn't count as a Schedule 2 use. That is expected in the autumn of 2013, if not sooner. And then we have a couple of procedures. One is Procedure 11. So this is transfer agreement procedures for mining properties. And this guides the MoE and Ministry of Energy, Mines and Natural Gas in administering transfer agreements under MA5. There's a draft complete, and it's just sitting with the Chief Inspector of Mines for sign-off, so that could come out at any time or no time. We'll see. And then there's this another unnumbered document, Procedure XX, referral of spills from the Environmental Emergencies Program to the Land Remediation section. Alan McCammon is working on this to establish a process and criteria for referring post-emergency high-risk or likely high-risk sites to the LRS from the EEP or EE program. And so we're expecting some input from environmental emergencies on that, and I understand there's going to be a draft out this summer. So that's all our new documents, updated documents. Protocol 9, determining background groundwater quality. The purpose of the update is to enable background determination recommendations under Protocol 6. This was a high priority document change before the new iron and manganese standards or application of them came into play, because we were getting all sorts of applications under P9. From our perspective, the priorities dropped because the number of applications we're getting has dropped since the new iron and manganese standards have come in. And currently we're awaiting input from the CSAP working group anyways. So we'll see what happens. Protocol 13, screening level risk assessment. There are a number of updates to bring it essentially in line with other documents that have been issued since 2008. So for instance, language is going to be updated along with the groundwater model, beneficial use provisions, trench assessment, soil exposure pathway, habitat receptor assessment, etc. And this is expected tentatively in the fall of 2013. Tech Guidance 4, vapor investigation and remediation. So there's going to be a change to add trench assessments to it, and some other amendments to reflect the Q&As that have come in over the last couple of years. I'm going to be talking about the trench assessment component tomorrow at the Geoenvirologic meeting in detail. So if you're there, you'll hear about it. And a draft of this updated document is with CSAP currently for review. Tech Guidance 6, water use determinations. So there's, Lavinia already talked about this. It's various amendments to reflect the Q&A she's received. And I think she indicated perhaps in the summer of 2013, but I've got the fall 2013 as a expected completion date. Tech Guidance 13, groundwater model. This is updated to incorporate Science Advisory Board 2005 recommendations along with other recent developments. The model has been the model update has been completed, but there's still work to be done on documentation. It's likely that Schedule 5 and Protocol 2 updates will follow this, and perhaps Schedule 6 as well, and a tentative completion date of fall 2013. Tech Guidance 19, sediment quality assessments. This is the Tech Guidance document that refers to 3 other really long and detailed guidance documents. So the idea is to put those into one, make it more concise, practical, and applicable to BC sites. And the completion date there is the spring of 2014. And then finally, we've got 3 updates to administrative guidance documents. So AG3, applying for contaminated site services. This is going to be a John 1. He wants to expand considerably on what exists, but because it's John, we won't expect it until after this fiscal year. AG6, site profile decisions and requesting releases where local government approvals are required. So it's just a tweak that'll happen in the fall. And AG11, expectations requirements for contaminant migration. Peggy was just talking about that. This is another tweak expected in the fall. And that's it. I put this question slide here, but Colin, we can do that later. Yeah.